and welcome to the Aid Station. I'm Chris Robb, and today's edition is a particularly exciting one to me. We head to Sri Lanka, which is one of my favorite countries in the world. I had an incredible holiday there for 3 weeks back in 2001, shortly after working on the Sydney Olympics, and I'd recommend it to anyone. I have been ever since I've been there. It's a beautiful country. We head to a beautiful town on the east coast of Sri Lanka. It's called Arugam Bay, and we meet Hajith Mohamed, who is the race director of the Arugam Bay Half Marathon. He's also the president of the Arugam Bay Development Forum. He's a very persistent man. This is our third attempt to record this because he's had some internet problems, and I really appreciate him going to that much trouble. So nice to see you, Hajith. We've been waiting to do this one for a few weeks. You've got a wonderful story, and I'm so excited to have the conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you, Chris Robb, for inviting for such a wonderful interview. And then you're doing a great job meeting different personalities around the world. So I'm really proud to be in this forum, one of the guy. So yeah, thank you very much for your invitation and all the arrangements.
My pleasure. Thank you for your persistence, as I say. I'd love to start by, a little bit about your background, where you grew up in Sri Lanka, and, how you got into the work that you're doing, and it's amazing work that you're doing with the event that you've created. But tell us a little bit about the start of the journey. Tell us the Hajith story, please.
Yeah. Yes, born and grew up in Arugam Bay. So Arugam Bay is the east coast of Sri Lanka, which is 320 kilometers away from the capital city, Colombo. So, and I studied in Arugam Bay and then different schools. I graduated in physical medicine and then became a physiotherapist in the hospital. I used to work in National Hospital of Sri Lanka for 9 years with burn victims. So I did many things for them, and then I moved to my own home city, Portugal, which is the town of Arugam Bay. So I'm working in that hospital as a physiotherapist. So that's my professional. And then regarding the society, so where I born and grew up, I have to think of them, and then I would like to do something for them. Then we boys, or we a group of youths, got together and then formed an organization called Arugam Bay Development Forum. So in 2016, so that is for the local community. So whatever we can give them. So that is the society which we have formed and working with it. And if I want to, then again, if I want to continue this, any organizations, there are many organizations popping up and vanishing off. So it's happening. But for a sustainability or the continuation of the social work, the main thing what we need is a good team and then a funding source. So we have got a good team, and then we're thinking of a funding. So fundraising all the time in a community is not the way which is going to sustain for a long time. So we thought about an thing or the source where we can get enough money into the society, into the forum, and then which we can use for our society, local community. So that is Arugam Bay Half Marathon. We think about the event, and then when we are analyzing the opportunity we have in Arugam Bay, which is a tourism, and so using that, we create this event, Arugam Bay Half Marathon. So this is like win-win situation where the local tourism can grow up. So by having a different segment of tourists, those people who would like to run in a different destinations. And at the same time, the contribution from the tourism, we can use this contribution to the local community who are still in need for things like basic needs, for education, of food and clothes. So that is how we developed Arugam Bay Development Forum and then Arugam Bay Half Marathon. So I can continue in your next questions.
Oh, what a great story. I mean, and we see so much of that in our industry, purpose-driven businesses, purpose-driven events, and the satisfaction that we get out of contributing to a community. Tell us a little bit,
Definitely.
because people around the world are fascinated. I'm sure that, you know, we probably almost should have done a little bit of a geography lesson, because I'm guessing that not everyone knows exactly where Sri Lanka is. So you might give a little quick insight into that. And also, you know, what's life like there? People are really, you know, fascinated what the challenges are people are dealing with. So talk about what's life like it now. What are some of the challenges that you've gone through during COVID? Do you have lockdowns? Are things starting to open up? You know,
Yeah.
those kind of things would be wonderful, please.
Yeah, sure, sure. So I would like to start from Arugam Bay. So Arugam Bay, as I said you, it's like 350 kilometers away from the capital city. So the tiny village, which have a wonderful scenic environment. So mainly the beach. So I'm just sitting in front of the beach now. So sometimes you may hear the wave sounds too. At the beach, actually, it's very popular for surfing industry. So people who involving with surfing sports, they definitely know Arugam Bay. So one of the best places in the world. So they have recommended it in many travel magazines. So those people are coming to Arugam Bay, travelers. And then apart from these beaches and surfing breakpoints, there's a national park near to Arugam Bay. So Arugam Bay is the only entrance for the national park, Kumana National Park.
Yeah.
So which is a really famous national park, one of the bird sanctuary, and then you can see almost many animals and the lagoons and such a nice places around attractions. So many attractions around Arugam Bay, which attract more foreigners each year. Despite this last 2 years. So in 2019, so we faced the first drop in tourism industry, which is due to the Easter bomb blast, which happened in April 21st in 2019. And then the tourism industry fallen dramatically, and then people were suffered a lot, not only in Arugam Bay and Sri Lanka. But we were waiting for the next year in 2020. So that will be
in there and talk about that, because you know you went through years of civil war. You know, you couldn't go to the north of the country. That ended, and you had these many years of relative peace. So that came as a huge shock to people. It was, you know, there were people in town. Am I correct in saying there was a big event on that weekend? People are in town for, was it an Ironman or something? Have I got my facts right?
Yeah, definitely. So we faced the 30 years civil war. So people in all communities, not like a certain community, all three communities mainly suffered a lot. When you have a war in your country, you can't go free, you can't work or study, whatever, you can't do that. So it became very challenging for that 30 years. So end of the year in 2009, we complete the war and then get into the peace. And then the tourism industry pop up really well. So every places in Sri Lanka, people are moving, traveling, and then foreign people start to flow in. So that's the tourism industry really rapidly grown up, but suddenly fallen due to this. Again, there was a bomb blast. So the industry was fallen very badly.
Yeah, and then COVID on top of that, and then this.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell you. Is that so? In 2020, we were in a big expectations. So we thought the bomb blast effect will vanish away. So we will have a big lot of people from everywhere. And so we are waiting, but again, the COVID started pandemic, and then that became to the nil. So there is no foreigners at all. So the people who are engaging with this tourism industry suffered a lot. The big businesses closed down, not only in Sri Lanka, everywhere that's common. And again, not only tourism industry, but tourism is the top of the list who badly affected. So that's one way. Another way, if you take it for the local community of Arugam Bay, they're not doing the tourism business, because tourism business involved with big, huge capitals. So those big business people or companies, they're running the business. But the local community, if you take them, most of them are fishermen. And then some are doing rice farming, and many others are laborers. They're doing a daily different jobs. So that is the real situation of Arugam Bay. So even though we are getting a good number of foreigners the previous years, so the big money flow, that's circulating in a certain community, the business community. But when you think about the local community, the real owners of Arugam Bay, they are still suffering for food, suffering for clothes, suffering to send their kids to school. So that is the cause make us to think, so how we can do something a little by little, whatever. So
And
we
so what's
thought that,
happening from a COVID perspective there now? Have you had lockdowns?
yes,
Have the
sure.
lockdowns lifted? People able to go through their daily life? Is there any hope that your event will be able to happen
So
this year?
yes, actually, we had a lockdown like 3 months continuously, but they have give a break, 1 day break in a week. So the problem is mainly that's what I'm going to talk about, the fishing society and the laborers. So if you look down, the people who are having a monthly payment, they are receiving their payment and they can run their life. But those people who are in labor categories or those who are going for fishing every day, if you go to the sea and if you come back only, they can get some of money for their daily living. So they kind of people face lots of problems.
Yeah.
But as a community, we helped each other a little bit, whatever amount we got it, but it's not insufficient to feed them. So help them. So those kind of people are suffered really a lot. And then luckily, the second wave in Sri Lanka affected badly, but comparatively it's very low. Comparing with other countries, Sri Lanka is much better. But in Arugam Bay and Pothiwil divisions, we also received few cases, but no any death or no such a severe cases. So luckily we managed the situation really well, and then currently there's no any reported cases. So we are moving smoothly now. So only problem is the economic side. So the tourism industry fallen and all other businesses dropped down. So yeah, that's the life right now.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, right across Sri Lanka, it's such a diverse country, but so many
of
people living
course.
in that subsistence space. There are tea farmers in the mountains, and you know all those kind of things. It's just yeah, it's lots of challenges, and you know, wonderful to see. I always like to talk about leadership, and you know,
Yeah,
clearly you're playing a leadership role here in terms of creating the event, in terms of
yeah.
the forum. Tell us a little bit about your leadership. Are there any guiding principles you follow? Is there a leader that's inspired you? Do you have a leadership mentor that's helped you and still helps you? Just for the
Yeah,
benefit of the
but
viewers.
yeah, if you ask me any mentors, then it's always the first position, which is my Prophet Muhammad. So he taught many things and very lot and lot. So that's in my top of the list. And then actually the Abdul Kalam from India, Mahatma Gandhi, those people. So those are inspiration of almost all people in the world who are doing this leadership thing. But if you ask me about me, so the leadership decision what I made is mm, in this Arugam Bay Half Marathon, which I talked a little bit earlier. So which is I would like to help this community. So not the business community. So they don't need any help, but okay, that is there. But the local community who are suffering from daily living, I would like to do something from this tourism. While we are having millions of dollars revolving in tourism business, but there's another part. Just even it's not 100 meters away, they are living. But those people, they doesn't have a roof for their house there, and then they don't have food. They can't send their kids to education every day. So the fathers, they need their kids, the boys, to come with them for breadwinning. So those people, the poverty puts them in such a lifestyle. So what I thought is, if I find a way which can help them, this kind of people from this tourism, so connecting the tourism and the local community, that might be really useful. And then also that is a possible way to do that. Then that's what I thought an event. So that's Arugam Bay Half Marathon. So if the Arugam Bay Half Marathon goes well, so there's a flow of money into the Arugam Bay Development Forum. So those money directly go to support the education basic needs of the local community. So what's happening here is, so we are targeting another segment of tourism for Arugam Bay. So currently we are having the surfing people tourism, and then again people who like nurture. So those people also traveling here. But if we target another segment, which is people who would like to travel and participate in a mass event, so like long distance runners, so that we are targeting. So if we bring that sort of people to Arugam Bay, That's the additional income for the business community they can enjoy. At the same time, the money we are having is that goes for a local community. They can have something to send their kids to school or meet the basic needs. So that is the thing we initiated. I really feel proud to have this thing.
What a wonderful concept,
Yeah,
creating that, identifying a different revenue stream from a different group of tourists to a beautiful location and impacting the local community. You're an incredibly inspiring man, and you said you're just a young man when we were preparing for this, but you've clearly got a very mature head on your shoulders, and you're achieving a huge amount.
thank you.
I'd love to
Thank you.
hear from you, and I always like to end the aid station with an inspiring story. As I say, your story is incredibly inspiring to me, but is there an inspiring story you'd like to end off with? A couple of minutes of something that's inspired you?
What I can share actually is about this race. This is almost, even I'm a physiotherapist practicing in the hospital. My dream is Arugam Bay Half Marathon. So if I have 1,000 runners in Arugam Bay, it's a big money which they're going to contribute for the local community to support them. So which is my aim. So when I start this thing, I never participate in a mass event, or at least I'm not a physiotherapist, so like physical therapist. So I'm really like this exercising thing. So so that's the only relation what I have. I didn't participate in any mass events. Even I didn't see any live events, or neither my teammates. But when I proposed these things, they all agreed, and then they gave me a huge support. Yes, we can go for this. And I don't know how to initiate this. Then I went through many magazines and articles, researchers. I studied a lot, and then I, okay, we can do it. I got the confidence. So I got the opportunity that Arugam Bay is there. People would like to travel Arugam Bay at least, so they can participate it. And then when I talk these things to some people didn't care about it. So what are you going to do? You can't even make people run in this hot. So there are many negative things come. At the same time, there are many people who helped me a lot. So the people who are engaging in the tourism industry, so especially the current chairman, and then who is the chairman of Arugam Bay Tourism Association, they are really happy about that. So they saw the future of this event and then helped us. Also, the business community of Arugam Bay, they helped us. Okay, you go for this, we can sponsor a little. And then they sponsored, and then we arranged all things, but we didn't get any registrations. We made postering, and then we are doing many campaigns in Arugam Bay, except few, I think 10 or 15 people registered priorly, but we didn't get any, one or two foreigners only the previous day. So, okay, we can do this. And then the next day morning, the race day morning, so we group standing on the start line and waiting for runners. And then amazing things happen. Many runners floated from everywhere. So I just shocked when I'm seeing them. Okay, our event is working, so people would like to do this. So there are lots of foreigners who didn't know about this previously. So once they travel in Arugam Bay, only they got to know there's an event, and then they didn't connect us or contact us previously. They came to the race point. So on 6 a.m. in 2016. So when I saw them, I'm really overwhelmed. Yeah, it was a very nice moment, my experience in my life.
Wow, what an
So
amazing story. Congratulations. We're pretty much out of time, but I'd love, so how much has that grown to now? Obviously, COVID's impacted you, but where were you up to in 2019 from a little start like that? How many people do you now attract to the event?
yeah, in 2016, we started with 90 runners. And then in 2019, we got a big challenges due to this Easter bomb blast. But even with the Sri Lankan army, we merged with them, and then they supported a lot. We had 225 runners in 2019, despite this all Easter bomb blast. So that was really gradually moving up. And also we are tying up with worldsmarathons.com. So those people are helping us in selling our tickets. But 2020, we couldn't be able to conduct. So lots of mass events were canceled. But what we take the decision is, okay, we can't do the event in 2020. Okay, let's strengthen our team. So we identify the strengths and weakness of my team members and encourage them, motivated them to strengthen what they have got already, the special things what they got. So the capacity building, team building. So those works we did internal arrangements in 2020 for good, the best event in 2021. And I would like to say that
you've laid this foundation now.
Pan.
You've laid the foundation to build.
Of course. Yeah. And then in 2021, we are looking for the big event in July 24th, which we already announced. So, and then we're going to work on it. So we hope 2021 will be a biggest event for Arugam Bay Half Marathon.
And I look forward to coming and seeing you one day, your beautiful country. It's
definitely
a wonderful place, and watch your event grow. You've planted an amazing seed, and I see, you know, all across Asia events are growing, and I have no doubt that that your seed will pay off. Hajith, it's been so wonderful talking to you. We could talk for much longer, but as always, time runs out. Thank you so much for your persistence with the internet, and I wish you all the very best.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris Rob.